Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. Today, Diesel and I are going to push this back a little bit and get these inners off and see if we can start fitting the fenders. You'll see the doors are temporarily hung. Harlan has started the welding and filling work here. There's still quite a bit of work to do. This body line is going to have to be done. The doors aren't final moved and adjusted yet. But the biggest thing is, before I get too detailed on the doors, is I need to know if we're even in the ballpark with the fenders. So if this body line isn't right, or if it's got to come in or out, I need to know that pretty soon. Okay, so we're slowly getting this cardboard hood off because we're gonna have to get in here, pull all this wiring. Not looking forward to it. Yank all the relays, yank all of this. But there's no way we're hanging fenders with these on here, because you got to lip it and everything, and they're going to be on and off about 10 times. That's just too much hassle. For those that don't remember, this is the LS1 that went in this car in 2006. It originally came from a 2002 WS6 Trans Am that had been sideswiped, and it has 59cc Patriot heads and a VRX 5 Vengeance cam, I think. I don't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, this has been great. And if anybody feels like donating to it, I'd love to go to one of the Holly computers. But for now, it's still running a GM computer. Slowly peeling back this onion. Okay, getting ready to finally pull this one. You can see wiring has changed over the years. This has been an evolution. This is one of the earlier cars that we did a full wiring job on, particularly since it involved tying in the LS1 harness. Back then I used marine blocks and lots of circuit breakers. Don't know if that's how this is going back together or not, because honestly it's worked for almost 20 years. Well, what, 17 years? So we might just replace the block, replace the circuit breakers, make a plate to mount it all to instead of the way I did it before, and call it good. Not sure yet. Alright, I think we're going to start on the passenger side. And the mounting points we care about right now are obviously this one and this one. This one may need repaired. We'll be finding out. This point here, which is the one you got to open the door for. And these two right here. So right here. Not too worried about anything up in this lip area. We'll deal with that. You know, that's this. Let's see, right here is where these little bumper brackets go. You can see them sitting right there. Maybe you can see them. It's silver against silver. That's where the bumper brackets go, and then the lower extensions. Now, I'm not too worried about fitting the lower extensions right now. What I care about is that body line right there and that door right there. How much in and out are we talking? All right, and this is why we're test fitting. We're monkeying around. Looks like we're obviously going to have to bring the door in and the fender out. There's a bit of tweaking to do here. So we just got to keep monkeying. Well, you can see he's working down there. Looks like the whole fender's got to come up. I'm going to go on record as saying I didn't want to replace all this sheet metal. Of course, I'm going to go on record as saying this is a running, driving car. But we're fighting. We're fighting the fight. So everything comes down to, don't worry about the core support. In fact, normally there isn't shims on the core support. But right now we're using them to help us rotate some things. One, this screw hole is not happy, so we're going to have to fight with that. But two, trying to bring the door in, up and over the quarterback and still be able to open the door. Because like right now we've got that back, but watch. Oh boy, is that close. You know? And that will end up with chipped paint. So we've got to work on that. The problem is, you'll see that body line's obviously not where it needs to be. This line, as it's getting closer, doesn't line up here. So the next thing we got to do, slide the fender forward, and we need to bring the door, this corner, it really needs to go up. But I don't know what that's going to do to this line. You know, don't forget, here at ShopDog-Garage, we don't know what we're doing. We're just doing it. So, we'll keep playing. And you can see where Harlan's been working on correcting the edge of the door, and we don't blame the door company on this one. All the work that they did in this in the past, we think made this shape less true. In fact, you can even feel. So it's going to be less work to make the door match it, because we're trying to have reasonable gaps. But you can see the last change we made brought that out, because we brought that in, because you can only bring this out so far. You know, we're all the way elongated in the hole, which tells us the whole door needs to go in. The problem is, when you look inside the door is already as in on the bottom as it can go. So it's always a delicate game. A little here, a little here, a little here. Yeah, Kevin will show us. There, you can see in there. Hopefully you can see in there that we're already kind of in. Oh, it's real easy to see up here. So, yeah, we're just playing the adjustment game. This has been very frustrating. Every change I make to make one thing line up makes something else not line up. So we'll keep fighting it and keep fighting it. You can see now we lost this and that. Okay, so we're getting a little closer and a little closer. Right now there's 2 fat shims here, a whole bunch down there. But the big thing is, this is starting to close. We're getting a lot closer on the gap here. It looks like we're going to have to swell the fender out a little bit more or bring it down a little bit. But the door opens. You know, let her open. I mean, just barely. But she opens. The only thing we've got to deal with now is, now for whatever reason, that corner is way out. So we're going to have to twist on the hinge a little bit, and it feels like I'm going to have to bring this out a little and crimp, you know, it's hard to explain, but swell it out. So I think the top's going to have to come down a touch to push this out. It's very, very, very strange. But we're finding that shims matter. It really matters a lot. We have been fiddle farting around with that forever, and we have decided that we're going to take a minute. We're going to put this fender on, see if we're fighting the exact same fight or not. There's definitely some work to be done here. Kind of like how this needs to pull out to line up. And we can get one thing the way we want it, but we can't get everything the way we want it. See? Opens nice. The gaps are, you know, I like the gap down here. I don't like it up here. It's just a little fat, but we had that tighter before. But now, see, I think you can see the shape of the door, but now the fender isn't the same shape because we added another shim down there. And in so doing, we got the body line close, but then we lost this. So we've been fighting, moving things around, trying to get this up, which obviously isn't going to happen. And we're just going to put this other fender on real quick as a sanity check. Aftermarket garbage is garbage. Okay. Got to figure out how I'm opening the door to get this bolt in, because boy is that way not correct. I've even added a bunch of shims here, but it's not getting what I need. Well, we say it all the time. Aftermarket garbage is garbage. Goodmark blew it on this one, and every forum said this is the best fitting aftermarket fender. And, well, obviously it isn't, because that edge there goes under the door. So, okay, got to figure out how we bend that. You know, it is 2 layers of steel, so it's not like we just tweak it. Yeah, so what do I do about that, Goodmark? That obviously doesn't fit. I don't care how much I try to drop the door. That's not going to do that. That's crazy. Also, this end isn't exactly pretty either. What's going on here? That's going to be fun. Yeah, what am I supposed to do with that? Okay, in the interest of making sure we're not crazy, we went ahead and pulled that out of storage. We're going to hang it real quick just to make sure it's not a door issue, because, you know, might not be the fender. We think it is, but it could be the door. Okay, well, it's still Goodmark, but we put a factory fender on, and there's a good marked door, so it's still on them. So see how this comes? And this is as close as we could quickly do it. Although, I'll tell you another thing. The factory one needs like 1 or 2 shims, not 40 like the other side. But when you come here, this is more what we were expecting right here. We'd love to see this and this be the same height, but I don't know that that's possible because there is a chrome piece that goes here. But see how this is? Well, when we come over here to this door, it's definitely not that way. And you can see we're actually already pretty close here. And I don't know that we can get that a lot better. We could try moving the door down, but the problem is the door's already pretty down. That's, well, okay, that just fits. So that's how close our body gap is there. And it's really nice here. It's a little wide here. It's really wide here, and then bam, you can see, no way. What do? We just decided we better start kind of looking at some of this too, and obviously this is going to have to shim down. Something's going to have to happen here because that gap is not going to be acceptable. We just looked at the valence and we don't know. But yeah, the cowl should be sitting just like that. That's what you expect right there. See, centered on the holes, perfect. Over here, you could drive a truck through there, so that's not good. Well, aftermarket garbage is garbage. We'll keep working. Well, we're trying to keep our chins up here at ShopDog-Garage, but it's hard. You buy stuff, you spend your money, doesn't fit. So, obviously there's going to be some body work involved. Going to have to push that out. This one I like, but you'll notice Harlan was already working here, and obviously we're going to have to work on that door quite a bit. We're going to have to figure out what's going on there. I can't really drop it. It's already against the sill, so guess I got some stuff to learn. Anyway, we did get those inners off. We did start the work. There's a lot to it. It's worth doing in the long run. So anyway, what do we say at the end of a video?
Thanks for watching.
As a quick addendum, we're looking at the black car, and the fit on this car isn't great either. You got a big gap here, and it gets real big here. This is kind of level-ish. Body line's kind of good, but you'll notice the fender and the door are a different shape. Coming down, this does not line up well down there. How does it look to the back? Let's find out. Yeah, it's not great. You know, at least this car has this bright work to hide some of the sins and trick your eye. Come to this side real quick. And this doesn't fit at all. It just flat out doesn't. And this is, I know it's hard to see because it's black and it's shiny, but this is my finger higher than this. And I've never noticed it. Also notice this trim is just forced over it because this sits too high. This needed to be pushed down to match the door and to let the trim go on. So see what they did here? They bent the trim. I had never ever noticed that before. And I've owned this car for like 10 years. ShopRex says, drink responsibly.